Hey, up next on the Marmy Rock Show, we have got our friend Dellacoma Rio coming to us all the way from Australia. Dellacoma, welcome back to the show, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we were just kind of chatting off air. It's been a long time since we saw you, and I know you jumped back and forth between the States and Australia. So tell folks where you are now and what you're up to right now.
I just got back to Australia after about, I came to the US New Year's Eve, so it's my first time back in Australia for the year. But I did a little acoustic tour with Jason Todd, who was the original guitarist from Shinedown. We did 10 shows in 11 days in January, and then went through to NAMM out in Los Angeles and shot a music video out there. Played a couple shows, and then we did a few shows through the Midwest. Recorded some demos for a new record, and now I'm back in Australia.
So first of all, let me tell you how much I love the title of the album, South of Everything, being that you're from Australia. And I'd like you to talk a little bit, what are some of the challenges of being a rock and roll band down under there?
There's a lot of challenges. We've just had several new laws passed in both Sydney and Brisbane. They're called lockout laws, and essentially what it means is if you leave a bar after a certain time, in some places it's 1, some places it's midnight, you can't get back in. So everyone who's in there can stay in there until the bar closes. But,
oh, wow.
We've had... So in those cities, that's really hurt the music scene quite a lot, and even down here in Melbourne, where I live now, it's probably the healthiest music scene in Australia. But even here, you'll find a lot of venues are closing down. They just sort of can't seem to make it work. So it can be a bit of a bottleneck for venues and for bands trying to get better at what they do. And it also means that, unfortunately, a lot of the best bands end up having to go overseas.
So, hey, tell me a little bit about the tune Moving On to Something New, man. It's a great tune. I've been playing it a whole lot, and I'd like you to tell me about that tune and as well the music video to it.
Oh, yeah, well, thank you. I'm glad you dig it. The band was formed, myself from Australia and the bass player from Australia, and then the guitarist and drummer from Dallas, Texas. And they were both in a band called Midnight Empire, and I used to be in a band called Sunset Riot. And both of our bands sort of folded about the same time. And I guess we all sort of felt like we had something to prove, I think. And they'd sort of been writing a lot of musical ideas before I'd even met them. And our bass player was actually the link between the two. He had joined Midnight Empire right before they broke up, and I'd known him from over here in Australia. And I think moving on to something new for me was just sort of that cathartic experience of being able to say, you know what, I'm not done with music yet. I'm ready to keep going. I think on a bigger level, a larger scale for people that aren't maybe musicians themselves, the idea of every new morning brings a new day, fresh challenges, but also a clean slate as well.
So talk a little bit about the music video. Where the heck were you guys when you filmed that thing?
Yeah, a lot of people ask us that. It looks like it could be anywhere. We've sort of we've sort of said within the band that we want the music videos for this album to be set in this mystical place called South of Everything, and that landscape really lended itself to that because people have thought that it was filmed in Australia, people have thought it was filmed in Utah, New Mexico, all sorts of places, but it was actually filmed in Kansas.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It's funny, you named the two places I guessed. I thought it was either in Australia or Utah.
Yeah. And the film director, he said he had this place that he'd always wanted to shoot at. He goes, "You're not going to believe that it's in Kansas." And the funny thing is, everything that you see in that film clip looks like it could be, in Australia or Utah or wherever. But where we were standing, right, so looking at the camera, behind the camera, everything else looks exactly how you would picture Kansas. Flat, grass and all that sort of stuff. But we didn't show any of that in the music video, so you can't actually see that. But it's kind of a trip, because as we're filming the music video, we're like, man, this is so weird, because we'd look back at the reels and you'd see all the scenery that's happening around us that we're in amongst, but that's not actually what we were looking at.
Hey, so I want to ask you a little bit about your musical influences. So the whole idea that, the people that would stereotype you being from Australia, but also like your style reminds me so much of the genre I love, in the late 80s. What are your actual influences?
I would say the late 80s would be a big influence of mine. Early 90s as well. I'm a big fan of Stone Temple Pilots. Big fan of Aerosmith. And I think Chris Cornell as well, especially his work in Audio Slave. Big fan of Soundgarden as well, but probably more so Audio Slave. I kind of got into music via Stone Temple Pilots and Soundgarden and a lot of those sorts of bands in the late 90s. And I know this sounds really weird, but I sort of went backwards and discovered like your Guns N' Roses and your Zeppelins and all that sort of stuff.
That's not the traditional path.
No, it really was not. I grew up on, my dad's really into the Bee Gees, Seals and Crofts, James Taylor, a lot of that sort of stuff. So I grew up sort of on that Chicago even, very vocal-driven and song-driven songs. I discovered a love for loud guitars and loud drums and a bit of swagger. And I still remember when I picked up, Pump by Aerosmith and just being blown away. And since then, I've really gotten into 70s Aerosmith, but Pump was probably that album for me that I was like, wow, what is this? This is, incredible.
So I noticed, it's funny you had mentioned the Stone Temple Pilots thing. You got a Scott Weiland tribute show coming up, don't you?
I do. I was at Rocklahoma, and I happened to meet the guitarist for Scott Weiland's solo band. This was probably 4 months before he passed away, and we became good friends, myself and the guitarist, and so when I found out about everything, I was sort of texting him and everything, and it impacted me quite a lot, even though I've never met Scott Weiland. His music has impacted me quite a lot, and in the sort of weeks after that, I sort of started thinking about it and thinking, especially with his struggles with drugs and all that sort of stuff, I think it'd be easy to it's easy these days to sort of go, it's just another drug addict, that's passed away. And sure, his death was probably self-inflicted, but the music that he left on this earth is something that's inspired me, and I'm sure it's inspired a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to put together a show. It's dedicated not necessarily to Scott Weiland, but it's a tribute to the musical legacy that he's left behind, because I was massively influenced by Stone Temple Pilots and also Velvet Revolver. So I've gotten together with 3 other musicians, and they're all in different bands from here in Australia. 2 of them, the bass player and the guitarist, they're just sort of in local bands, but the drummer is in a band called Dead City Ruins that just got back from a 10-month European tour. So they've been, and I've known them for quite a while, Dead City Ruins. They've sort of been doing in Europe what I've been doing in the US for the last 3 or 4 years. So we've all sort of gotten together, and all of our bands had a bit of a break, so we put together 26 songs covering Stone Temple Pilots and Velvet Revolver material, and we're going to play that at Cherry Bar a week from Friday.
Hey, I want to ask you about a show that the next time I'm gonna see you is actually April 28th at the M Pre-Party in Columbia, Maryland. So how did you hook up with that thing, man? M3 Festival is one of our favorite festivals. I can't wait to see you ahead of that.
Man, that is going to be an absolutely incredible opportunity. I've been keeping tabs on that pre-party for quite a while. The guy that books that, I met probably 5 years ago at Rocklahoma. My old band Sunset Riot played Rocklahoma 2012 and 2013, and then Dellacoma obviously played 2014 and 2015. He's been there. I think he's probably been at Rocklahoma every single year that it's ever been on.
Yeah, Dave Detoxin, man, he's a good guy.
Pardon me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's a great guy. I've been sort of hounding him, to kind of get us on the list or whatever. And he's like, well, he goes, it's just a small little party. I don't know if we can afford you. And I was like, look, man, we really want to play. I was like, I love playing the East Coast, and with that sort of stuff, you never know who's going to be milling around. And I like playing new places as well. So he sort of messaged me and he goes, you sure you want to do it? And I was like, absolutely, I want to do it. And I was like, what do we need to do to make it happen? So we just sort of sat down and worked it out, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now, are you going to get a chance to go to the M3 Festival at all while you're here, or do you got to move on once you're done playing the pre-party thing?
No, unfortunately, one of the downsides of being on the road, we'll roll into town and people go, oh, you should do this, or you should do that, or you should check out this, amazing thing that our town has to offer. And a lot of times we just don't have the time. The following day, the 29th, we're playing Philadelphia. And the day after that, we're playing the Hard Rock Cafe up in Boston.
Oh, nice. You'll do well in Philly, man. That's a great rock and roll town as well. We're kind of situated midway between Baltimore and Philadelphia, so you'll do really well up there. So, hey, I saw an acoustic version of the tune My Kind of Woman on YouTube. Do you do the acoustic thing very often?
As a band, we've only ever done it once, and that was on the radio in Arkansas. There was a town in Arkansas, Hot Springs, Arkansas. Their local rock radio station, FM station, started playing us. And they asked us if we would do an acoustic performance on air for their morning show. So we did. But that's the only time that we've actually, as a band, played acoustic. I personally do a lot of solo acoustic work when I'm off the road. And My Kind of Woman is one of the songs that I usually do. I've actually got a residency coming up here in Melbourne. I'm only home for 6 weeks, and every Sunday in March, I'm playing at a bar called Whole Lot of Love.
Hey, so I know you're coming back. I know you're coming back to the U.S. here in about 2 months. What are a couple of the big highlights you might want to point out while you're here in the States?
Well, obviously the M3 pre-party, as you mentioned. We've also got a date on the 1st of April in Denver with Winger. We're getting to support Winger, which will be really cool. I kind of got into Winger again late because of Rhett Beach. I'm a big Whitesnake fan, and Rhett Beach has joined Whitesnake fairly recently. So I was sort of going back and checking out, bands that he'd been in, and obviously Winger popped up. So that should be a lot of fun. It's the first time. It's actually in Golden, Colorado, and it's the first time I believe that the full band has played in Golden, Colorado, and I believe that's Kip's hometown.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But we're also playing with Saving Abel up in Janesville, Wisconsin, and we're also playing a new festival in southern Utah called Retro Rock Fest. They haven't announced headliners for that yet, but rumors have it that it's going to be Rat, possibly, or someone sort of in that vein. What else we got? We got a lot of stuff. We're doing all four corners of the U.S. We're doing 44 shows in 53 days. We've got dates booked in Florida, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, Oklahoma, Idaho, South Dakota, Wisconsin, Minnesota, New York, Philadelphia, and pretty much anywhere in between.
Well, man, you're going to be one busy dude when you get over here. I know you're a busy worker anyway. Make sure you say hi to our buddy Scotty Austin, man, from Saving Abel when you see those guys. We love those guys. We've been friends with Scotty for a while. So, hey, Dellacoma Rio, man, coming to us tonight, I assume from Melbourne, Australia. I guess you're coming to us tonight, right?
Yes, it's almost 12:30 in the afternoon on Monday, so I'm coming to you from the future.
Yeah, man, I'm getting ready to go to call tonight here myself after a lively weekend of rock and roll. So, man, always a pleasure talking to you, my friend. I can't wait to see you at the M3 party. That's April 28th at Sonoma's. Get to the M3 festival a day early, make a full weekend of it, and you can see his amazing band, Dellacoma. Hey, man, thanks a lot for being on the show again.
Thank you so much for all your support, and I can't wait to see you.